Today is May 9th, 2015, and today I'm interviewing my grandfather, Thomas Costello. How would you describe the early part of your childhood?
Well, for the first 5 years of my life, we lived in a rented home in a rather poor section of Norristown, Pennsylvania. And during that period of time, being under 5 years old, my memory's limited, but the house was crowded, and my mother and father did not get along. Beginning at age 6, my father left home and left my mother and me and my sister to fend for ourselves. We moved to Bridgeport, Pennsylvania, and the big problem, the financial situation, was much worse than it had been in Norristown. So my childhood, the early part of my childhood, was really greatly affected by the fact that we were poor. Often we had no electricity. Often we were short on food, or the food that we had was spoiled because of no electricity. And ironically, when I look back on those years, I was happy. So living in all this, what you would call poverty, when I look back on my childhood years, I look at the relationships that I had outside the house, and they were a good time for me.
Now, could you describe being raised during this time?
Well, after age 5, I was being raised by my mother, who did not work, but she was not well, and as a result, she was really not able to spend a lot of time supervising me. So, I was very much on my own. Could kind of come and go as I pleased, and I started working when I was 9, so I spent a lot of time out of the house.
Well, did you find this part of your life to be difficult?
Well, yeah, it was difficult, as I mentioned, because of the financial situation. That at times it brought pressure, and at times it brought about some embarrassing situations with bill collectors and the like. But I again I don't look back on it with any anger or as a terrible time in my life. I think generally I went out and played sports and did what the other kids did, and I was very happy. The little town that we were living in had other people like me, and so it was okay.
Yeah. Now, how did this all make you feel?
Well, at the time, I don't know that I felt that I was recognizing any feelings. Clearly, again, not making this financial thing more than it is, but at times that's frustrating because you just can't do the things that the other kids are doing. There are times that there was money owed to school that couldn't be paid, and all this was very frustrating. But in terms of feelings, I was close to my mother. I loved my mother. She was a good woman, a very, very kind person, but we just had nothing. And
Well, do you think you've become a stronger person through this?
Yeah, I guess so. I ended up somehow. I was always good at school, so that helped. And because I didn't have much help at home, kind of did school on my own. In terms of making me stronger, I often talk to Mimi about this, and I don't know that it certainly, I had to start out, I started out in a hole and had to climb out.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you say that makes people stronger by climbing out of the hole, I think that I probably would have done something differently if I hadn't started in a hole. I went and sought a job that was going to produce money I went into the accounting
Yeah.
business, and that was very lucrative. But I'm not sure I would have done that if I had a different upbringing.
Yeah.
If I had
that's
somebody
true.
paying my way through college and
Mhm.
and taking care of things for me. So I guess it made me stronger, but it certainly made it more difficult.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Now, through all this, what were some of the other responsibilities that you had as a child?
Well, again, my first job, I was 9 years old, and that was working at a golf course, and I kind of stayed connected to the golf business. And the responsibilities really, I had no other than going to school. I always worked, so I stayed in the golf business. When I was in college, I worked my way through college. I worked 50 hours a week when I was in class.
Wow.
So it was the responsibilities basically were all driven by going out and earning something.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you use this all as motivation to become successful today?
Yeah, well, yeah, no question. When Mimi and I met in high school, we started dating, and then I decided at the last minute to go to college. I wasn't sure I could go because I didn't have any money.
Yeah.
And once I figured out a way to get into college, I went to Villanova and worked my way through school, and I was driven. I knew in the accounting business that if I was going to get with the best companies, I'd have to be top of the class.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
I managed to graduate second or third in the class, and that got me a job that I knew that I would make good money at. So I was driven by my childhood experience to go out and make a living, and that's what I did.
Yeah. Now, do you believe that you were truly successful?
Yeah, I mean, certainly, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm very happy with a lot of things in my life. I mean, the real success is our family.
Yeah.
Being able to raise the family and provide for them. Through the years, was clearly successful. I was very successful in my profession. I had what you would describe as a big job in the accounting business. I was with one of the largest firms in the world, and I had a big job with them. So that all went well. And in terms of what I wanted to do, it was mission accomplished. Getting a good job, having a good family, and providing for them.
Now, looking back at everything you went through, did your childhood affect what you wanted for your family?
Oh yeah, for sure. To this day, because of our never having any money growing up, I found that I overdid it with the kids. I was never able to see our children go without anything. And I'm always worried, do you have money? Where are you going? Do you need money? And so, yeah, I was so determined that I would provide for them in a way that their life would be comfortable, and that they wouldn't have to go through what I went through.
Yeah. Looking back on your life now, is there anything that you would like to have done differently?
Yeah. I can't imagine anybody could answer that question with a no. So, yeah, there are things that I'd like to do differently. And again, it's driven by my objective to go out and become successful, financially successful, to provide for the family. I worked, if I were starting over today, I would not have worked as hard. I spent a lot of time working with the objective of being successful in business. Mimi raised the family, and I went to work, and that was kind of the way we whacked it up. And that was our understanding at the beginning. I wanted Mimi, to be home with the kids, and I would go make the money, and that's what we did. But as a result of that, I spent a lot of time traveling, and I spent a lot of time working. And so it's the only thing I would change. I'm very happy with all the big things that that are part of our life to this point in time.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing this interview.
You're welcome.